Good morning. Today our lesson, chapter 8, lesson 7, is talking about factoring special cases. In this lesson, we will learn how can we factor perfect square trinomials and the difference of two squares. Perfect square trinomials, how can we factor it? And also we will learn how can we factor the difference of two squares. Now, in lesson 8.4, did you remember when you said like if you have A plus B times A plus B, if you have to multiply two binomials, have the same variable, the same monomials, A, B, B, and the same sign. What did we say? We say if you want to multiply them, you get A squared plus, since we have a plus sign here, 2 times A times B plus B squared. So if you have now two binomials have the same variable A and B, and they are added A plus B, or you can say if you have an A plus B squared, you can multiply them and you find the answer as A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. And the same happen if you have A minus B times A minus B. It will be A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. Now, this is how can we multiply two binomials to get this trinomial. In this lesson today, we factoring this, or we will learn how can we factor this trinomial. I mean that we will learn how can we get reverse from this trinomials back to the binomial. Multiply, we will learn how can we multiply these binomials and convert them to trinomial. Here we will make a reverse. We factor the trinomial into two binomials expression. Now, this trinomial and this trinomial, we call them a perfect square trinomial. And this lesson today, we will learn how can we factorize the perfect square trinomial. If I give you x squared minus 4x as an example plus 2. This one, how can you, x squared plus 4x minus 2. How can we factorize them? We will listen how can, if you have a perfect square trinomial, how can we factorize them? Let's see now here. The rule is for every real number A and B, if you have the expression as A squared plus 2AB plus B squared, like this one here. Like if you have, wait please. Like it was, or if it is A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Okay, how can I write it? What I have to do? Look here. They told me that write the first term squared and write the last term squared and write here A plus B. Since here I have A squared, I will take one of them, which is A, and B squared, I will take B. I will put them in one bracket since the sign here is a plus. Then the second step, I will check it. I'll ask myself, if I multiply 2 times A times B, did I get this number here? If it is yes, so I factorize them correctly. If it is no, I will say it cannot be factorized in this way. Oh, it's not a perfect square trinomial. What does it mean? Let's have now a number or another example. If you have x squared plus, let's talk another one, x squared plus 4x, yes, plus 4x plus 4. For this one here, what I have to do, the first step, I will write it, this x squared as it is, and plus 4x, and this 4 squared, I will write it as something to squared, number to the power 2. It comes like this, x squared plus 4x plus 2 squared. Then this is an x, and these two, bring them here. Then, so you write this trinomial as a perfect square factors, the first and the last term. The first and the last term are perfect square. I will write now x squared and 2 over 4 as 2 squared. Then after that, I will take one of from the x's and 2 from the, they are 2 squared. I will take 1, 2, and 1 x. I will write them like this, x plus 2. And then I will look at the sign here. What is the sign here? It's a plus. I will write them down as a plus. Then the second step, I will check if the middle term here, this one I mean, if the middle term is 2 times first and the last term, let's see. What we have here, we have x, and here we have 2. If you multiply this x and this 2 by 2, what you will get? We get 4x, is it right? Which is the same as in the middle here. So if I multiply 2 by the first and the last term, and I get the middle term here, so I can say, yes, this is a perfect square trinomial, and if I factorize it, it must be x plus 2 squared. This is the basic, this is the idea. Now, look here, they told me that the first and the last terms are perfect square. What's the meaning by perfect square? So what's the meaning by perfect square? How can I know if this number are perfect square or is perfect square or no? As you see here, we have the multiplication chart. And if you multiply the number by itself, you get an answer. Like 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, until 15 times 15, 225, 20 times 20, 400, and so on. So if you multiplied 8 as an example, times 8, you get 64. Now look at these yellow numbers, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, and 144. All of these yellow numbers, we call them perfect square. All of these numbers, we call them perfect square.
Teacher, I didn't understand the perfect square, the numbers must. And teacher, what the perfect square have other than the numbers? And why it's called as perfect square?
Yeah, Miss, me too. I have the same question.
But here, okay. It's why its name is perfect square?
Yes.
Okay. If you have this one here, perfect square, what does it mean? That means it has here one or two columns and two rows. It has two columns and two rows. If you multiply them 2 by 2, you will get 4. And I mean that you have the same dimensions. 2 rows times 2 columns. That's when we call them, this is for the meaning of perfect square. In numbers here, if you multiply the number 3 times 3, you will get 9. This 9 is, we call them a perfect square. Because why what's the meaning of square? That's mean I multiplied the number in itself, with itself, like 4 or 2 times 2, 4 times 4, 6 times 6, 9 times 9, 10 times 10, 20 times 20. If I multiply the number with itself, this answer is a perfect square. 4, 16, 36, 81, 100, 400. All of these numbers, I call them perfect square because it's come from multiplying two numbers or two same numbers with each other. Basically, now what are the perfect square?
Yes.
This is for the numbers only. I
Yes,
just remember you what is the meaning or what is the definition of a perfect square. Now, after we know what is the definition of perfect square, let's now learn how can we factor a perfect square trinomial. Now, the first step, look at this example here, sorry. We have x squared minus 12x plus 36. What I have to do? The first step, I will go to x squared. This variable, it must be a perfect square. What does it mean? It must have it must have 2 as an exponent. If it's x squared, so yes, I can work now. If it is x cubic or x, I cannot. It must be x squared, x raised to the power 4, x raised to the power 9, x raised to the power 16. The same perfect numbers, that's we talk about them. That's mean this one is x times x, or x squared times x squared. I think only these two, it comes to x squared or x raised to the power 4. That's mean I have two variables. If I multiply them, I get x squared. In this lesson today, I'm talking only about x squared. So here, since now the variable has an x squared, so it can be factored. I call them a perfect square variable. So here we have x squared. Then minus 12x plus. Now look at this number here. What we have? A 36. I will ask myself now, go to this table here. Is 36 a perfect square? Look at these yellow numbers here. Is 36 a perfect square?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Yes.
6 multiplied by 6.
Yes. So I will say yes. 36, it can be written as 6 squared. Then after that, take 1x from here and 1/6 from here. Write them down. Open a bracket. Then come here. What is the sign? It's minus. Write a minus sign here. Then after that, by the way, if you write it as x minus 6, this bracket you must put this square a power outside the bracket. Then after that, I will see now. If I multiply x times -6, these terms the same, which we have x minus 6. If you multiply x times -6, the same here, x -6. If you multiply them by 2, what did you get? 6 times -6 times 2 is -12, 6. -12x. Then after I multiply them, I will look here. Is it as the same as the middle term?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I will say this is this is the factored form of x squared minus 12x plus 36.
The teacher is
I have a question.
Yes. Yes, ask me.
Me or Farah?
هدى يلا.
Okay.
يلا هدى please. Quick.
How we multiplied the 6 with the power?
What does it mean?
Like here you said 6 multiplied by 6 equal 36. Then
Okay.
here you said that it's -12x.
Here, no, not by the power. By 2. Multiply it
Okay.
by -6 by a number 2. Yes, Farah.
Thank you, Miss.
teacher. When you say factoring a perfect square trinomial, the perfect square trinomial is x squared minus 12x plus 36.
Yes.
And when I factorize it to be x minus 6 to the power of 2,
Yes.
it will be this called square binomial.
Perfect square. No. It's not a perfect. You'll not say a perfect square binomial. But this is the factored form of the perfect square trinomial.
Okay.
So, teacher,
Yes, Dana.
we first take the first sign, so it's minus. We can't take the plus sign.
Yes,
right?
another example. I will give you another example. You will see how can we take the plus sign. Let's do now more examples here. Look at these numbers here, or this trinomial. X squared plus 6x plus 9. Here we say that if we have an x squared, is it a perfect square? Yes. Plus 6x. Now I will look at number 9. Is a number 9 is a perfect square number?
Yes.
Yes, Miss. 3 multiplied by 3.
It's a 3
Yes.
squared. Yes, it's a 3 squared. Now, what did I tell you? I told you that this one is like this. I will do it like you in another step here. It's like this. 3 times 3. Is it like this? x squared, 2x plus 6x plus 3 times 3. Then after that, take 1 from the x's and 1 from the number 3. Then look at the sign here. What is the sign here? It's a plus. Take them also. Then after that, don't forget to open the bracket to the power 2. After I do this step, the second step, I will ask myself, if I take this x, wait please, if I take this x and this plus 3, okay, this x and this plus 3, and if I multiply them by 2, did I get 6x? Let's see. 2
Yes.
times positive 3 is positive 6x, which is the same as the middle term. So, since it is yes, so I will say that the factored form of this expression is x plus 3 squared. That's it. Look at B now. In B here, we have x squared minus 14x plus 49. When I look at them, I must write them in a perfect square. This is a squared. I rewrite them like this because I know that 49 is a perfect square. Then after that, I will talk the x and the minus and the 7. I will talk them down. I will write them now here. X minus 7. I took x minus and 7 squared. Then before I finish, I must check. If you multiplied now x times negative 7 times 2, did I get, if I multiplied them, did I get negative 14x?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Miss.
So
It's
if I
negative
multiply
14x.
negative 7 times 2, it's a negative 14 times x. So yes, I will get a negative 14x. So I can say now.
14x.
So I can say now that the factored form of x squared plus 6x, x squared minus 14x plus 49 is x minus 7 squared.
Teacher,
Yes, Farah.
when I want to check, I will make x squared. Then I will make minus 2 times 7 times by 2. Because we don't take the sign, because already it will be written when I want to make it as a perfect square trinomial.
You mean here, if you want to check?
Yes, here x minus
Yes.
7 multiplied by 2.
Okay, yes. Oh, you can take the numbers and with the sign. You can, yes.
Okay.
So teacher, we always take the first sign, not the second sign.
Yes, yes, I thought because the second sign is always positive. I just look at the first sign. Now, what if you ask me, teacher, if I have x squared plus 6x plus 5 as an example? This one, okay? You have this one and you have this one. Look at them. Look at the second one here. The second one, I will look at the first one and the second one. The first one, as we said before, this is x squared, and this is 3 squared. So I will take one from the x's, the plus sign, the 3, one from the 3, squared, and I say that the factored form of x squared plus 6x plus 9 is x plus 3 squared. Look at the second one here. The first term, yes, it's a perfect square, plus 6x. But look at number 5. Is number 5 a perfect square?
No.
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 Is it right? So I will not use this way. I will use the way that we learned them before, which we talked about them before. That's you open two brackets, you put x here and x here, you found the factors, or you write the factors of number 5, and you find which pair of factor has a summation of them is 6, which is 5 and 1. So I will write them as x plus 5 and x plus 1. So if I have, since now this 5 is not a perfect square, what does it mean? That means the two factors here are not the same. But here, for the first one, it was x plus 3 squared does mean it's x plus 3 times x plus 3. So if I have a perfect square like x squared plus 6x plus 9, that means I can write them into x plus 3 times x plus 3 into two factors which are the same. But since number 5 here is not a perfect square, okay, I can also factorize them, but not with an equal, with not at the same factors. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now, look at this one. You know, all of us know, you know, the digital images. The digital images are composed of thousands of tiny pixels rendered as squares. So the pixel of the image is a square. Suppose the area of a pixel is 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. What is the length of one side of the pixel? In the previous lesson, we talked about rectangle. Why we talked about rectangle? Because we say that the rectangle we have a rectangle. It has 2 times 5 as an example. We know, all of us know that a rectangle has a length that is different than the width. But the square, it's no. The square, it has 5. It must have all the sides have the same length. 5, 5, 5, 5, or 4, 4, 4, 4. Not like the rectangle. The rectangle, any two opposite sides are congruent, and here also any two opposite sides are congruent. Here no, all the sides are congruent. 5, 5, 5, 5. To find the area of the rectangle, we say the length times the width. To find the area of the square, we say any side is square. It's so easy. Take any number, square it, say 5 times 5, the answer is the area of the square. Here also the same, but the area is not a number. The area here is a 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. So it was 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. It's like this. Just like this. Let's see.
Yes, chef.
20
4x
here. Yeah.
plus
So
20x plus 25.
Yeah, this is now the area of the square. The area of the square here, if I draw this square here, and all of us know that the square, it must have all the sides, or all the sides must have the same length. So if its area here as a 4x squared plus 20x plus 25, what I have to do? I have now to factorize them into two equal factors or two same factors. If they are the same, I will say that this is the length and the width, or this is the length of the side of the square. So what does it mean? I want to see now if they are perfect square trinomial. Look at the first term here. And look at the last term. The first term, is it a perfect square trinomial? What does it mean? Look at the number 4. Is a number 4 is a perfect square?
Yes.
Yes, number 4.
Yes, it is 2 times 2. Is it right?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
As you remember the table, 4 is a perfect square. So I can write them as 2 squared and x squared. Then plus 20x and 25. Is it a perfect square?
Yes.
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 It is.
Yes, 5 to the power 2.
Yes. Then the second step now. Take the 2 and the x and the 5 and the plus sign. Open a bracket now. We have 2 squared, so take one of them. We have 2 x's, take one of them. Plus, we have 2 5's, take one of them. And don't forget to put the square sign outside. Then at the second step, let's multiply 2x times plus 5 times 2. 2, yeah, what we have to do? 2 times 5,
10.
10 times 2,
20.
20x. Is it the same as the middle term?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
because of that, I will say now that this is the factored form of 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. That's mean this is 2x plus 5, and this is also 2x plus 5, because they are the same. Yes, you want to ask me?
Teacher, I cannot multiply 4 times by 25. It will give me 100. And 100 is like a perfect square number.
Yes.
Or no, I must make like this, factorize the 4x squared
Okay,
and the 25.
you said correctly. You know, that's 4 times 225 is 100. Then what can help you? How can it help you?
Yes. Then I multiply x and the square root of 100, which is 10.
Okay.
Then I will get
of 10?
x plus, yes, x plus 10 squared.
X plus 10 squared?
Yes.
No, x plus 10 squared, if you multiply them, you will get x squared plus 40x plus 100. 2 times 10. 2 times, no, 20 is not. You will get x squared plus 20x plus 100. It's different than 4x squared plus 20x plus 25.
Okay.
Okay, this is another perfect square trinomial.
Okay.
Now, let's do this one here. You are building a square patio. The area of the patio is 16 meters squared minus 72 meters plus 81. What is the length of one side of the patio? We have the same. It is a square. They told me that it's a square. A square that remind me with perfect square trinomial. So I must write them as 16 m squared minus 72 m plus 81. Look at the first number here, which is 16. Is it a perfect square? 16.
Yes.
It is 4 squared.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
And m squared
Yes.
minus 72m plus 81 is the perfect square?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it is 9
Yes.
squared.
9 square.
9.
Yes.
And
Now,
multiply by 9. 94.
yes. Now I want you to take one from the 4s and one from the m, the minus sign, and the 9, and put them down here. It will be 4m minus 9.
9.
Minus 9.
Then
Square.
4 m times, sorry. Then 4m, I cannot write, okay. 4m times negative 9 is what? 4 times negative 36, sorry.